Hello.
Hi. So you'll have a minute to share your platform and address everything you want.
Hello everyone, my name is Karan Nain, and I'm third year psychology honors student at Kabilano University. Right now I serve as Accessibility Justice Coordinator for CSU, and I'm also chairperson for two of the most important committee for the CSU Governance Committee and Finance and Audit Committee, which are responsible for the most important policies for the CSU. I'm running for the Vice President Student Affairs, and I have multiple things to say, but I'm going to keep it brief. I have three most important things to ask. First thing going to be more funding for the student clubs. Second thing going to be advocacy to the Senate, because it's one of the most important jobs for a VP Student Affairs to represent CSU at the Senate level. And third thing I'm going to say is raise awareness about the existing CSU resources.
Nice. Okay. So you're currently on the CSU, right?
Yes.
How have you found what are some problems that you could address in this position that you're running for right now that you couldn't address before?
Excellent question. So, Student Fair VP has a main responsibility. First thing is organize events on the behalf of CSU, and second thing gonna be represent CSU on the Senate level. One thing I can identify is all of us domestic international students, we pay equal fees, typically around $300 to $400 per semester to CSU. But from the past 3 years, what I'm seeing is we are organizing same events, no major improvement and no post-event feedback from the student. Let's say we host events here in January month. And but after this, there's going to be no feedback from the students, like what they enjoy, what they did not enjoy in the events, what kind of barriers, such as accessibility barrier, they face, and this thing is just keep going. The money is limited, especially the recruitment is low for the students right now. So I think we can focus on first getting the feedback from the student, what they actually need, what kind of event they need, so we can spend these resources effectively and help and reach as many students as possible. For example, students from the Fine and Art Department, from the MOPA building, they are completely isolated from the rest of the events. I don't remember if we hold any events from them. I went to the building yesterday for campaigning, and they had one ask that even from the representative, they have tried to reach out CSU multiple times, but they have not received appropriate response from them. So I want to hold monthly roundtable with all the faculty reps, so I can listen what different departments need, what different students want from the CSU, and we can update our events and our resources according to that.
Okay, sounds good. Can you specify which student services you believe are currently underutilized at the CSU, and what strategies you would implement to enhance these services? I know you kind of...
Thank you for asking the question. I would say one of the most important is the mental health resources. Right now, CSU offer up to $1,000 for mental health counseling reimbursement. Anyone can use it within one financial year. We also have available free counseling through Empower Me, but as I talk with the student right now in the campaigning or previous workshops, etc., they don't know about this, especially first year students have no idea any of these resources. CSU pays around $1.5 million to the health and dental plan, and it's important that students receive what they're actually paying for. So I want to raise awareness about this. Few options I'm going to implement is I'm going to increase the tabling hours, so student can come directly to me and I'm going to explain them in plain language that this is what available for you. Please use it. I'm going to not only right now, most of the executive, they complete their tabling hour at the CSU lounge, but I want to do this across the campus at different days. Birch building, Mopa building, Dogwood building. We have to raise as much awareness as possible. As I previously mentioned, I also want to get feedback from the different faculty reps that what their ideas are, how can we reach their department, their student more effectively.
Perfect. All right. That's all the time we have for you. But thank you for coming up.
Can I say last word?
For sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a student for this university from last 3 years. I know this campus well. I know how CSU works, and I'm here to work for you. The name is Karan Nain, and vote for me for Vice President, Student Affairs. Thank you.
All right, next up, Kash, Makker. All right, you have 1 minute to give your platform and introduce yourself.
Awesome. Hello everyone. You've probably seen me around here and there. My name is Kash Makker and I'm running for VP Student Affairs. I have been a part of the university life for quite a bit now. I've worked with a lot of departments on campus. I've worked with student life. I currently work with the Career Development Center. I've worked with CapUrec, and even with the CSU, I was part of the Student Engagement Committee a while ago. I've always wanted to run for the board and I'm really passionate about what the CSU offers. But I never got a chance to be a part of it, and I've ran before, and maybe things were not right at that time. Maybe that's why I didn't win. But I have ran before, and I'm really passionate about what the CSU is all about, and I really want to bring that to life. I specialize in university events. I've created the Great Campus Heist with the student life. I help out with any career development events as well right now. So I have a good understanding of what the university is all about, and I want to bring that to light, and I want to show that to students as well for what beautiful thing this university has to offer.
Perfect. Okay. So in your own words, what does your position entail?
I feel like VP Student Affairs is a very community-driven position, and I'm a very community person as well. I like cross-departmental things. I feel like VP Student Affairs in my position, I will have to bring students together and then show them the resources that already exist, and maybe bring in some more programming where more students can actually more students can actually avail these services, and maybe even increase the programming in some level. I believe that my job would be mostly getting students together, but I also do want to have the students speak for themselves and come to events or maybe some student focus groups or things like that, and just really have students engage with the CSU rather than just hearing about what the CSU has to offer.
Nice. Okay. I'm curious about, it's kind of an ongoing question with everyone nowadays, basically, but I'm curious to hear, what is your position on the use of artificial intelligence when it comes to the workplace?
I think it's a great resource. It's a good tool to use. It does teach you a lot of things that you can use. It entails a lot of things. I think AI is a good tool that obviously you can use for your own benefit, but there are cons to it, which is for everything. There's pros and cons to everything in life. I don't endorse it for academic purposes, because I believe that the learning, like, you can understand a topic using AI, but you cannot really understand it. Like, it's an easy resource. Like, the more you go towards a comfortable, like I like to call it comfortable hell. So you're comfortable using it, but it's not actually helping you to learn.
Right. Nice. So as VP, how would you design an environment in which historically marginalized and underrepresented student populations at Capilano University are empowered in their academic and extracurricular trajectories?
Yeah, the first thing I want to do is actually get students together. So like as Karan was saying as well, I want to bring students together. I want to start student focus groups where students from different faculties will just come in and just talk about different things. It could be related to academics, it could be related to mental health, because mental health plays a major role in your academics as well. I'm a big preacher for mental health. I have reached out for services that the CSU offers, and maybe I've not gotten the right support that I was looking for. So maybe strengthening that a little bit. And there's multiple things that play into academics, but I feel like my focus would be bringing the students together as student focus groups, holding events. CSU has done a lot of internal events on campus before, but seems like for the last few years they've not been doing IceCap, or they've not been doing a lot of internal events and mostly focusing on external events. So I want to bring more of that programming where students can actually get together, be it through student focus groups or events, and better mental health resources that can definitely help them with their academics in the future.
Nice. Okay. Similar question that I asked you, Karan. Can you specify which student services you currently believe are underutilized, and what strategies you would do to enhance the students utilizing those services? I know you spoke about the mental health resources a bit, but are there any others?
Yeah, I think one thing that I really want to work on is the mental health resources, because that is a major one. That is a struggle that a lot of me as an immigrant who has had a lot of mental health challenges, I think it is very important to address that, and that can be the root cause for a lot of things. CSU offers Empower Me. I have myself been on the website. I've tried to chat on it. I'd had to wait for 2.5 hours. The site reloaded and I couldn't get the support that I needed at the same time. So I feel like more representation of maybe neurodivergent communities or maybe more mental health support is very, very important or essential for every student's life. And maybe looking at platforms that can be incorporated in the CSU for the students can be something that can be looked upon. Maybe I'm a big preacher of community, so maybe cross-departmental things that we can do. Like I got the support from the Your Early Support program with the student affairs. So maybe CSU could provide some funding to them and have more of those advisors and have more of the people engaging with these types of services. So that's what I want to work on once I get from the CSU.
Okay, perfect. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you very much. And Kash, Makker for VP Student Affairs.
Next up, Vice President Student Affairs, Pannu. So same thing, you have 1 minute and then we'll go into questions.
Morning everyone. Hello.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, morning everyone. My name is Vansh Singh Pannu. I'm studying for Vice President Student Affairs, and yeah, I love to do a lot of stuff. Maybe that's why I'm in this position. I love to do video editing. I love to do DJ. I mean, I'm learning DJ, and I love to do parties and shit. And maybe that's why I'm standing in this position, because I see our university is boring, and I want to bring up more events so everybody can have fun. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Interesting. In your own words, what do you think the job entails? Like, what are the actual day-to-day workings of being the vice president?
Workings. I mean, in my position, I am mainly taking care of events. And also taking care of every student mental health as well. I'm focusing more on events because I only see 3 events happening every year: Holi, Diwali, and sex toys. That's it. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm Indian myself. I love to celebrate Holi, Diwali, and everything. But we can do more than that. My friend over there, Ravan, he's 3rd year student over here, and he still hasn't seen any good events happening in our university. And I just want to make sure that we actually have good stuff to do in our university. We can have like sports events happening at our university, and not only like fun events, we can also have like knowledgeable events happening in our university. Recently, Iran had a big win. Very less people talk about it. And yeah, I mean, I personally want to make sure that everybody gets knowledge and have fun in our university.
Okay. Sorry, Iran had a big win. Like,
I mean, big win, like in the sense of like the dictatorship that was happening. It's
Right.
not anymore. Yeah,
I
in
see.
that sense, please.
Okay. So, can you specify which student services you currently believe are underutilized? Like, outside of just, I know you're very big on events.
I mean, everything is okay in my. The way I think everything is okay, everything is going good, but events are not going good. But yeah, I mean, everything can be improved in many ways. We can improve students' mental health in many ways, like getting funding from university and helping every single student. If somebody really needs some mental health, really go and talk to them and like help getting them therapists and people talk to them. Like, yeah, that's.
Sure. Okay. Does anyone in the audience have a question? We don't have enough time to do that.
What program are you
Communications.
Communications. Okay. Anyone else? Back there?
I want to know his plans about what he's planning to do to help students in academics. Like we all know that university is not offering much of the courses. Like due to some reason, maybe budget and I know many more reasons, but I want to know what he's planning to help students about the courses, academics, or maybe fees, I guess. Because he is not responsible for only the events, but he also has responsibilities of academics and all the university affairs.
Yeah, I mean, I am mainly focusing on events. I told you why, but I cannot like come to you guys and ask you to study all the time, you know. You can study on your own too. And about the courses, I mean, we can. What can I do about it, bro? I mean, I'm studying for vice president student affairs. I'm not studying for president or anything. I really want to have fun in this university. That's it. That's what I want.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Sorry. I know lots of you guys have more questions, but that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure, you can say one last word.
Yeah. One last thing. I know most of the students don't really care about having elections or anything, but I would really say one thing. There are many people who really care about this position. I'm not saying me. I mean, I do care, but everybody doesn't care about it. So vote the right person, because there are some people who don't come to university and are still candidate in our university. Have you seen the vice president student affairs that is right now? I haven't seen him in the whole year. And I mean, I haven't seen him do anything anyways. So if you elect someone, just be careful who you elect, because he's going to get the money and he's not going to come to the university. And many people are here for money as well. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Our last remaining running for Vice President Student Affairs, Sandeep Singh. So again, 1 minute to share your platform and a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandeep Singh. It's my second year in Capilano University as a student of Associate of Arts. Firstly, I am feeling very proud to running as election candidate for the position of Vice President Student Fair. I believe university life is not only about like academics assignments, but also about like creating a sportive, positive experience for everyone. Yeah. And if I win, I got elected, I will strongly focus on events that are organized by university, that like engaging for events like for everyone to good. Secondly, I will also focus on like creating welcoming events for new students and collaboration activities between different groups and clubs, so that everyone in the university feels connected in the university life. I will also focus on like student well-being by promoting mental health awareness, pre-sport initiatives, and like we can say accessible campus resources. I believe leadership means listening, working together and helping another. to make university life better for everyone. That's it.
Okay. First question. Can you specify which student services you believe are currently underutilized, and what strategies do you have to implement and enhance these services?
There are so many resources in university that are underused, like sports facilities, clubs, and like we can say healthcare facilities are underused because many students don't know about like this stuff, like aware of that some. I'm also not aware of like some this like we can say facilities. I will organize more engaging events to promote this like facilities and ask them students where through communication like social media so everyone know about their like this facilities and this facility every student are able to use university facilities because they pay so much fees for this one.
Okay. So what's your position on the use of artificial intelligence?
Yeah. I think the AI is like a good tool for study if we use in the right way because there are positive and negative effect of that AI. Because some students like use AI for like education, it's good, but some students like use for like assignments or make all assignments from AI and then submit to a university. I think AI is like to getting information about the course and like that stuff that are not talked by like a professor in a class. This is yeah.
Okay, fair enough. How would you design an environment in which historically marginalized and underrepresented student populations at Capilano University are empowered in their academic and extracurricular trajectories?
I plan to introduce like more engaging events like social student nights, club nights, stress relief program during exam period, sports competition, sports activities, outdoor activities, and like these activities. Because in our university there are so many events are held, but students are not aware of that events because of no communication. I will regularly communicate with the students through meetings and like open forums to understand their need and concern and ensure that their needs voice are represented in university decisions and decision making bodies so that their needs are like fulfilled by university so that students like feel connected in the university.
Okay, I think we have time for one question from the audience. If anybody has a question.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
And it's up to you. No, you. Yeah.
You have any question?
I'm just asking that. Can I ask because I'm candidate for the same
Yeah, it's okay,
position.
bro.
So one of the main role for the VP Student Affairs gonna be represent CSU in front of the Senate. Senate is the senior committee made of deans, professor, and senior leadership of the Capilano University. How are you gonna advocate for the students so they can resolve student issues, such as for like a CSU policy for advocating for fall reading break or 50% approximately courses are cutting down? How are you gonna advocate? What's your plan about this?
If I got elected as like a vice president for like a student affairs seat, I would like to know like I would like to take all issues in like a meeting where we are like about student like mental health awareness, so like study problems like academic stress and students needs on campus. I want to make sure that every student voice are here in university, and when the university take any important decision, the student concerns are included in that one, so that every student feel connected. Like you are saying for like a reading break. Yeah.
For the fall semester, we don't have right now, but we have policy at the CSU that we want to advocate more about that.
I will try my best in the meetings to make like a reading break, like that stuff. One thing I want to say that during my campaign, many students tell me that they want more like a sports competition in our university because there is no sports competition. If I got elected, I will introduce like more sports competition and fun games so that students can stay active, stress relief, and able to communicate with another students from different countries and different background.
Okay, very good. That's all the time we have. Yeah, thank you very much. We are moving on to Vice President, Vice President Equity and Sustainability. First up, we have Abhiraj Bhullar. Same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Abhiraj Singh Bhullar. I am a third year biomedical student here at Kapilana University. I have been transferred from SSAs to Bachelor recently, and I am a part of a lot of clubs as well as environmental initiatives at Kapilana University. You mostly have seen me here at the CSU lounge giving out free foods to students about like bi-weekly basis, and collecting stem cells samples throughout the whole university as the president of Kapilana Blood for Life. But yeah, other than these initiatives, also I'm included with Earth Books as a research assistant, and I look forward to being part of CSU as VP Equity and Sustainability. I feel that equity at Kapilana University should be taught to every student as well as all the volunteers, student leaders, and even the staff, the student employees, because as a CapU community, we are all equal, and we have to work with each other and collectively become together as a community, right?
Perfect, thanks. And then 4 minutes for questions. So in your own words, what does the role of Vice President of Equity and Sustainability do?
So, as a Vice President, Equity and Sustainability, I have to, at the future elect, or at this position, will have to look over all the equity work at the university. There are advocacies and also a lot of opportunities for us to advocate for the students. How are they able to equip their life from a high school environment to the university life, right? That transition becomes knowledgeable by teaching all the students how to adapt to that transition well. Other than that, we are all part of our mother nature. So as a VP Equity and Sustainability, we do have to look over some sustainable initiatives at the university, because being close to environment, especially here in North Vancouver, where we are so close to all like these mountains and beers all the time, I think having a good wildlife protection acts and other sustainable initiatives at Kapilana University is really important.
Okay, what would you do differently than has been done so far?
So I was given a chance to become the critics to VP Student Affairs last term, and since joining my post at the CSU, I have actually seen this post to be vacant. I don't know the reason behind it, but while we have been doing all these lobbying at the audience of British Columbia students, I think that the role of VP Equity and Sustainability would have been really crucial to advocate all the equitable acts that should be incorporated into the Kapilana University as well as the student union. Even the board of directors should have equitable training at the first orientation when they are given a retreat towards starting their term.
Right. Okay. So sustainability is frequently reduced to environmentalism, while equity is framed solely through a social justice lens. How do you define sustainability in a way that integrates social, economic, and environmental dimensions? And how does this connect to your definition of equity?
That's a very good question. So first of all, when we talk about the social justice, it's not about like the sustainability. It's about like only about environment. We do need to have a sustainable environment at the Capilano University in terms of sexual violence, in terms of gender biases, and also acts that leads to harassment and other gender violence acts. So basically, being sustainable doesn't mean that you only have to take care of environment. You also do need to take care of all the social justice towards the students, towards other areas where all these students are underrepresented, and as a whole community, like it should be that we should work together rather than just some initiatives or some group of students just working for that. So basically, what I have seen how much change a group of students can create versus how much change a community can create. So I would actually like to advocate that for the students.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Maria. We don't have time. Sorry. Next up, we have Maria Gesualdi.
Yeah, that's fine.
So same thing, 1 minute, and then we get into questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Gesualdi. I'm running for the Vice President of Equity and Sustainability. In this role, some of my main responsibilities would be to speak up for marginalized voices, help eliminate systemic barriers, and aid the school to implement more sustainable practices and awareness. As an Indigenous student, I know how meaningful it is when institutions move beyond acknowledgement to actual work, especially because this role was vacant last year. My first step would be listening, so hearing voices of the students of different backgrounds to understand how Capilano is doing from their perspectives and what changes that students would like to see. An initiative I would like to introduce is a short equity and sustainability series, which would look like a 3-day set of workshops and community events focused on gaining awareness and turning it into action. It would include topics like recognizing hidden biases, addressing microaggressions, destigmatizing mental health, and discussions on AI's environmental impact, and more. And finally, I would advocate for more plant-based options on campus to support sustainability and different diverse dietary needs.
Okay, so equity and equality are often conflated in student governance. How do you differentiate between the two things, equity and equality?
Well, equity, I think, is like the opportunity for everybody to have the same experiences and opportunities of learning and spreading knowledge. And then equality is pretty similar, but also just with like ensuring that there are actual resources for people to be using.
So how will this distinction inform your approach to policy making and resource allocation?
Well, I think that equity, equality, and sustainability are all extremely important. So policies need to really look through everything while making changes and spreading awareness. So just really including everyone's perspectives and ways of being and everything.
Okay. So, similar question I asked before to the previous person. Sustainability is frequently reduced to environmentalism, and equity is often framed through social justice lenses. how do you define sustainability in a way that integrates social, economic, and environmental decisions? And how does this connect to your definition of equity?
Well, sustainability is all about living our life in a way that can be not taking resources for future generations, and that can happen with definitely environmental ways of like typical ways that you hear like recycling and that kind of stuff, but then it can also tie in with ways of equity and like if everyone doesn't have the equal opportunity to be learning about the effects of what they may be doing in everyday life having on the environment and the future generations, then that is not a way to like keep sustainability. So yeah.
Nice. How do you plan on integrating these ideas that you have and collaborating with other departments to get those ideas out there?
Well, I think that wait, sorry, can you repeat the first part of the question?
How do you plan on collaborating and like putting your ideas into action?
Well, like I was saying before, everybody kind of needs to start with a baseline of like just really knowledge and knowing what their actions are doing to society and to the planet, even though they may seem small. So just starting with that awareness and then leading towards how we can bring those things into small changes that will like result in more change.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all the time we have. All right. Next up, we have Prabal Gupta. All right, same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hi everyone, my name is Prabal Gupta. I'm currently studying business admin. I'm a second year student. I'm currently running for VP Equity and Sustainability. And my goals for the position are like to reduce a single plastic use. As I see in some of the events in CSU, they are using disposable bottles and that create a lot of plastic waste. And apart from that, I also want to include I also want to increase the student engagement in CSU events. Like I've seen some of the events, they are not being culturally affected. When I see CSU Holi events or Diwali events, only see the Indian students or Indian community people over there. I don't see any other communities. So I want to encourage other students that we should also participate in other culture events. Like if you're gonna go on the black student events, the other students should also engage in that events as well. So it would be my pitch for the CSO VAP Equity and Sustainability. Thank you.
Okay, so what is your opinion on the use of artificial intelligence?
Okay. So first of all, artificial intelligence is very great tool for students, but it can reduce the critical thinking skills for the student. Like if you use artificial intelligence in a good manner and use some references in your assignments, it would be a great tool. But if you use it for everything, like asking every single question, you will also reduce your critical thinking skills, which can affect later in your life. You will not be able to make some good decisions. You will always ask ChatGPT or other AI tools that what can I do for this, what can I do for that. That will be not good for any student. But if you do it in a good manner, like ask some small questions that can help you in study or in assignments, then in that way AI can be a good tool. And moreover, if you're using AI in your assignments, you should always cite them and tell your professors that I have used the AI in this particular paragraph or particular topic, so that they can know that you have used AI and they will not pledge you or something like that.
Okay, so do you have any thoughts on the environmental impact of artificial intelligence?
Okay, so for me, for my thoughts, I think artificial intelligence may affect environment negatively as AI needs a lot of power to like big generators. I heard that in the big generators to generate a lot of things like images that can affect our environment negatively, and moreover. In AI use can also be a good thing in one of the ways. If you use AI for say, ask AI that how can they protect the environment. They can give you some examples, but in my perspective, AI is not good for you or the environment.
Okay. So a big part of the VP of Equity and Sustainability is listening to students. And obviously everyone says they'll listen to students, but how do you plan on actually, what does that look like to you? What does listening to students look like?
Okay. So for me, listening to students is not just like I'm going to them and listening them, but I will make sure that they are properly listened, and I will gonna implement that thoughts of the children of the students, so that they can be they can see that they have been heard. Moreover, I'm also gonna do the sustainable act, like, not on the environment only, but in the students' life as well. Because sustainability is not for short term; it's for long term. I'm gonna also ask them to ask the university to budgeting about to explain the budgeting for the students, as they can manage their funds and use their funds in the long term.
Okay. We've talked a bit before about the difference between equity and equality. Are you looking to be more equitable towards students or more equal across the board?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, actually, as equality means sameness, and equity means fairness, as we know. And I'm more of the equity one, as I'm running for VP Equity and Sustainability, of course. But the equity.
Which part? Or like,
The equity part.
like which do you which are you going to operate
Which
with?
I'm on the side, which I don't, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the equity side. I believe every person or every student should get the equal opportunities. They should grow with the every. They should use the every resource and the gap we provided equally, and so that every student can grow together.
Okay. I believe that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Sport for Prabal Gupta, VP Equity and Sustainability. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to do Vice President of Finance and Services. First up, we have Muhammad Ali.
Folks, I'm going to take a photo of the crowd right now. When I take these photos, generally, a bunch of people look really bored, so I want you all to look as engaged as you can. You're having a great time. You're choosing the leaders up tomorrow, but don't look at the camera, please. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Okay, so same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself, and then we go into questions.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Mohammad Ali. So I am running for the position of Vice President Finance and Services. I am currently doing the Diploma of Arts, Associate of Arts and Science, and majoring in Arts. So I want to tell about my past, right? And I have a strong political background, so which allows me to help the students in a way that can help that include responsibility, accountability, and services. These are not just the words for me. These are the services that I can provide to the students. So that's all.
Okay. How do you feel about artificial intelligence use in the financial sphere?
So nowadays, artificial intelligence has been growing up since very much. So it has a major role to play in the students' life. Like they help in the assignments, they help in the calculation also, and like finance also. So artificial intelligence plays a major role in that.
Okay. Have you identified any financial waste, I guess, in the past that you plan on changing with regards to the CSU?
I have looked at it very carefully. So I'll ensure transparency, accountability, and the financial accounts has been properly used for the students, because every dollar has been spent according to the students' fees, right? So they need to keep the track of the student fees, and they deserve to know where the student fees is going.
Right. So how would you plan on making the financials transparent to everyone?
So I'll ensure that surveys takes place in a week or in a month. So every student can take part and they play their part in every way, and they can tell or convey to us like what's the needs and what they want to do for us.
Okay. As we know, Capilano University they don't have as much money as they used to. Is there anything that you're willing to cut in order to keep the financials on track?
Yeah. So I have majorly focused on some areas like to support this launch, to support the study spaces, and moreover the study areas for the students to be the betterment and that feel more welcoming for the students, right? And the areas that I can cut off is the areas that are not mattered so much, like except from the student areas.
Right. Okay. We have some time for questions from the audience. Yes.
Do you think that the current VP Finance and Services is doing a good job at her position?
Yes, she's doing a very good job, but as she has done majorly in the past also, and this year she has done a great job. So, but I think a change is needed for that. So I need a chance to prove myself, and I ensure that it will be worth and it will not waste a chance.
And what exact change are you talking about?
I'll ensure that I'll ensure transparency, accountability, and every dollar that has been spent by the student fees has been tracked properly for the students, because they have paid the fees for the students, right? And they had the right to know where the student fees exactly goes.
And can you tell me the name of the current VP Finance and Services?
Meharveen.
Do you know where she is?
She is sitting right there.
She's gonna answer.
Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question. I'm going to say that if you are running, I think it's best to not ask a question. It seems like a big conflict of interest. Okay, any more questions? Yes?
So since you said that things are already doing good, so why should we not choose a already experienced student leader than get a new perspective? I think there is no change that is here. Something like we need something better to come up, right? If you think there is a problem, then where is the solution here? I think
because I think that I had the experience in that field, because I belong to a political family, right? So I had the experience in different ways, which can help students in many ways to be transparent, to be accountable for all the students' needs. I think change is needed. Everybody needs one chance. So I think the chance had been given to me, and it will be worth.
So if things are already going well, what change are we doing?
Sorry, we have to move on. We're out of time here. But thanks for all the questions. I think we're going to do one round of questions for every candidate for this at the end. Thank you. And next up, Meharveen.
Hi everyone, I am Meharveen and I am a fourth year accounting student here at Capilano University, and I am running again for the position of Vice President Finance and Services. As you might know, 2026 is going to be extremely challenging in terms of financials because of enrollment trends here. Capilano University has already pre-approved 5% and 2% tuition increases for 2026-27 for both international and domestic students respectively, which means that it's not time for uncertain leadership, or it's time for continuity, it's time for financial discipline and someone who understands how CSU works and the budget structure behind how student fees is being utilized. Within my last term, CSU had the opportunity to set out its 5-year goals, which means that the next executives will be working on the year 2 of its five-year priorities. So within my year 1, I focused on food security initiatives. Our initiative of Quest food hampers, winter food drives, and pop-up produce was hugely successful. Advocacy was also a huge part of my portfolio, working on the BC tuition increases. We had protests organized, we had tablings organized. Other than that, we also focused on low barrier, low fee, low expense micro pop-ups, such as small scale events, because we all know that our student fee is very limited right now, and we cannot focus on holding a major event every semester. That's just not how it's going to work. And
Sorry, that's a minute. Yeah, no worries. So as we know that enrollment is down, and meaning that CSU is going to have less money to work with, how do you plan on working with less money than before? Are there anything you're looking to cut, or what are your aims to balance the budget?
So the student union works on a very sustainable model. It's not the way how Capilano works. So we charge equal fees to domestic and international students, which means that our student union is still very better off than the university or even the other student unions. Like you might have heard in the news, some of them are under huge scrutiny because of how they're managing their funds. Within CSU, we are relooking at job vacancies, so cutting out jobs that we will be able to do without. Other than that, we're not going to be cutting out any essential services. That's not the plan at all. Expenses are going to be reduced by a lot, which are not necessary again. So, and also the best part is that CSU still has a huge reserve. So in case of anything like any worse situation, we are still prepared to make sure that students have the resources and the services that they need.
Okay, I think we can open it up to questions from the audience now. If anybody has a question. Yes.
So since we already looked at in the first year, we had a cut in the club funding. Clubs were running out of funds, and we also have the plan for the student union building coming up, and the CSU's budget is going to be, precisely we're going to be cutting down on non-essential services first. So how do you plan to getting back the club funding with the same amount of funds that you have, the challenges you guys are already facing? Do you have a plan ahead, like how are you going to proceed with getting clubs or getting the students what activities they need to do, like getting club funding that they're asking for this whole time?
So within our year 1 priorities, we did have this in mind, and we canvassed other student societies to see how their club funding program actually works. Within the larger institutions, we found out that most of the clubs were responsible for bringing in their own fundings through sponsorships. And this is something that we wanted to do in our university as well, but due to the smaller club sizes and small scale events, this is something that cannot be done in just like 1 year. So CSU has been working on developing training modules for club leaders so that they know how to approach outside sponsorships and are not totally dependent on student fees for hosting their clubs. And I'd be happy to say that some of the club leaders were actually kind of successful in doing so. Even within our events like Captivate, our Captivate was totally sponsored by 3 external organizations, and this is the first time that has happened within the CSU. Regarding the student union building question that you asked, the project is currently on hold because of the BC tuition report that has been going on. So it is not going to be currently moving until we have a correct answer as to what the future of CAPU looks like.
So quick follow-up on the student union building part.
You can go.
So I've already invested over easy $600 to $700 on student union building myself, because every term we pay $100 student union building like fee. So as we see that finances are going to go downwards in the near future with the reduced how do you plan on giving back to the students who have already invested for that outcome?
Okay, good news is that the student union fees is a restricted fund. It's not going to be used for any other purposes. In the worst case scenario that the project does not continue as it was supposed to be, this thing is going to come to the annual general meeting where the students will decide how they want their funds to be used.
Okay, that's great. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Muskan and Sharma. So, same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself, and then I'll ask a question, then I'll open it up to audience questions.
So, good afternoon everyone. My name is Muskan Sharma, and right now I am studying in 4th year, and I'm doing my bachelor's in business administration, and I'm specializing in accounting and finance. And I think that this position really have a similar background. And I have thought of 3 things that I could do. The first is transparency. And in transparency, I do not mean that I would show reports, that I would show the budget. I mean that students from non-finance background should also know what is happening, and they should not feel that that it's boring or whatever. Whenever there are meetings and all, like the general meeting, there was the budget was shown, but I do not see that people were interested because it seemed boring to them. I want to make it interesting to them by explaining it in a way that is easier and understandable.
Okay. So, how? So, what are some criticisms that you have beyond just the transparency of how the CSU financials have been operating so far, and how would you change them? Like, how would you spend the money differently beyond what the CSU has been doing so far? Like, how they've been spending the money?
I don't think I would change anything without consulting with the board of directors and the staff, but I would say that I would promote club collaborations. We know that there is not enough money for the clubs, but we can promote the club collaborations that few clubs can come together and do one event rather than no events.
Okay. I think we can open it up to a few questions from the audience, if anybody has any questions they'd like to ask. Yeah.
I feel like accountability and transparency is a pretty standard thing for all executive positions at CSU. What other things can you do beyond this? Because I feel like that every person needs to do, everyone that is going to be in the board of directors, they have to be transparent, and I think that's pretty standard. What other things are you going to bring if you were to be there?
Yeah, for here, I mean transparency for understanding, making other people understand who are like non-finance background, and not everyone is a finance student, and I do have friends who have no knowledge about where our money goes and whatever. I am not saying that the information is not there, it is there, but people do not understand it clearly. And you said like what else I can do. Plus I can like I said, I can promote collaborations. I would promote financial literacy programs. I know there are clubs that need more exposure about the financial literacy, and I would help them promote it on the campus, as we know that in university students need more exposure to those things.
You can answer the question, sorry. You can answer.
So my first question is this, like how are you gonna make it interesting, the reports we are showing now in the general meeting, and apart from this, how are you creating revenue for CSU if
sorry. I will answer your first question first. That how will I make it more transparent? A good accountant.
Not transparent, like how you can make it like
Interesting, yeah. A good accountant or a good financial analyst can make you understand everything, all the finances easily, even to the non-finance students. We do not have to read up the reports and just tell what is there. We can even tell them in different ways by just the percentages that what revenues we are getting and where are we spending them and all. And what was the second question?
This question, like if you will be the elected next one, so how are you gonna create a revenue? Because this situation is that like everybody is going from deficit. How are you gonna create a revenue?
Okay, so if I talk about, I have an experience for applying grants in You Belong through an Actis, and I am a workshop and growth coordinator there, and I do have experience in applying grants. I can teach other clubs and help them apply external grants and have their own revenue.
John?
Could I invite folks, if you have a question, to go up to the microphone for the sake of our viewers on YouTube?
That's a good
Sure.
idea.
They would appreciate that.
Can I make a comment?
No. Sorry. If you guys have a question, do you want to line up at the microphone? Yeah, this is definitely better. This is good.
So I want to know that how would you collaborate with other board members or the VP or maybe the president for if there is any conflict in the priorities of budget and financial grants, and would you prioritize events and services over the academic part?
Firstly, I will talk about it in our meetings with other VPs and all. And the second part, that what would I choose between academic and the events, and I think there should be a balance between both. We cannot ignore events totally because that makes campus life a little boring, and we might have heard from students too that our campus is getting a bit boring, and yeah.
Okay. Sorry?
Quick follow-up.
We can have one more question. Just really.
Can you tell me the total budget that CSU has currently? And also can you tell me if you get elected, which committee will you be act as the ex officio or will be designed that you will serve on? Just two questions, just the budget of CSU and which committee within the CSU if you get elected, you will be serving as the ex officio.
So for the first question, the reports are online, so should I just go online and see what's the revenue?
You don't have to, we don't have to have like questions that are...
Yeah, that's based on the reports. And for the second question, I won't lie that I am not much knowledgeable about that yet. But I will be for sure if I'm elected. I will try my best to do everything that is necessary. And yeah.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Next up we have Agamjit Singh. So same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself, then we can ask questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Agamjit Singh and I'm a second year business student here in Capilano University. So if I talk about bit myself, I'm working in this field for the last few years because I have a family business back in India. So I used to help my father in a lot of basic stuff and like managing their daily needs and expenditures. So I think I would be suitable for this position as I do have some experience. And if I talk about right now, along with my studies, I am working at YVR Airport in customer representative, and I do assist customer officers in translating for my community. So yeah, like I do have a lot of experience, so I will be doing great in this position.
Okay. What are examples of financial services offered that you think are a positive force from the CSU?
Like right now, I would say the student spaces that they are offering, that is like really helpful. But I would like to make like more efficient, I would say, because during exam times, it does happen like not everyone gets space in the students' spaces. So, and like, so I would like basically work on how can we increase the student spaces and how can we just make like more time for a single student as they have to like move out every half an hour or 1 hour.
Okay. Thank you. Curious about. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull this real quick. So, how do you think your experience in the past relates to this position now?
So basically, like I used to like manage all the funds for our company and just divide each and everything, like where are the basic priorities that like need to be focused first. So I just focus on that things that I mainly think is like there should be more room for like student spaces and some more events that can help students, and there should be like more food events or like some sort of like students who don't have lacking in like basic amenities like food and clothes, so maybe we'll work on that thing too.
Okay, and we can open it up to questions from the audience. If anybody would like to have a chance to ask any questions.
So thank you so much. The first question is this, like you're explaining the things related to the student affairs. So what's actually you're doing on the like VP's finance, and I'm not getting that point. Like if you can explain like what will be your like planning strategies for that thing.
For like this position.
For particularly finance, like the things you're explaining is related to the student affairs.
So for like finance, I think it should be more clear to like the students where their money is being spending, because all the funds are from their fees. So I think they should know better about these funds, where they are used. And for like finance, we are gonna like, I'm planning to make some system like, so each and every student knows where their money is being spent, and we can have like some sort of question answer. So what in reality like the students need, like what they want from us to work on the field, so we can just work on that things.
Okay. Yeah, you can go.
My question is, what are the top 4 things you'd like to focus on and why as a VP Finance?
Okay. So the main things I'm gonna prioritize is like being a student, even most of us don't know where our money is being used. So it should be a more clear thing, like students should know where their money is being used. And the other thing is like we're gonna open more maybe events, and maybe like, so how can we influence students related to these things, and we'll just work on like along with all the other VPs to help build students more efficiently.
Okay. Do we have any more questions, or you want to do another one? Yeah, that's okay.
So as you mentioned, like CSU is not explaining students like how we are using the budget and stuff. Like we have annual general meeting and semi-annual general meeting where we are providing all the like stuff and the numbers to the students, and even already explained by some other candidates as well. So that's why I'm just like thinking like how you gonna say that like it's not transparent and it's not going to explain to students. So if you can explain that, I will be very happy with that.
I would just explain like being a student, and like most of fair sitting, they don't even know about the things that how their money is being used. So maybe we'll just make some sort of like a site, or maybe we'll just give out more tier previously so they can just know about it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answer, but it's not a quite relevant with this. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The final candidate for Vice President of Finance and Services I'd like to invite is Maninder Singh. Same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself on the platform, and then we can get on to questions.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Maninder Singh. So I'm studying business administration in Kalra University. So starting off, my background is related with politics and business. So my grandpa was a politician in Punjab and my dad's a realtor. So basically, I have seen them very closely managing the finances, and in my whole entire life, I've been amazed by three things. That's music, powerlifting, and politics. So when I heard that CSU elections are coming, so I thought now it's my time to get into this field, because as I have mentioned earlier, I have seen my grandpa and my dad managing finances, and I know how like politics work. So my focuses are my main focuses are CSU study spaces. So the question that I have been hearing in this interview was regarding AI. So I believe that study spaces should not only exist, there should be something there to learn also. So I can do something, if I got elected, then I will do something to, so that students should learn something about AI. Because I've been seeing students are using AI and they are receiving mails from academic integrity.
Sorry, if you could clarify your position on AI.
Finance.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say is the biggest challenge that students are facing in the financial sphere here at Capilano? What would you say the biggest challenge is for students relating to their financials here at Capilano?
The biggest challenges that students are facing, that they don't really understand the finances, and most of them are not from the financial background, so they do not understand this. So as a business admin student, I believe that finances are not only numbers, finances are a trust. So I believe every student money should be spent carefully, and it can be only done if they elect any responsible leader.
Okay, what has the CSU been doing in the past that you've seen as potentially irresponsible or something you disagree with relating to the role?
Currently our VP Finance, she has been okay. She has been okay. She has been doing good currently. So I would not like to change something, but I would like to upgrade things.
Okay, what are some upgrades that you think could be done?
So I will keep student surveys like weekly or bi-weekly, so I can know that what exactly students want, because every decision I cannot make on my own. They will be made on basis of what students want.
Okay, I think we can open it up to questions from the audience now. Again, if you're running for the same position, don't ask questions.
I had a question. You were talking about like study spaces and stuff like that. What is, maybe I'm missing something, what does that have to do with the finance?
Because if I got elected, I will be the one who will be managing the finances. And if you read about the responsibilities of VP Finance, it's very clearly mentioned that he's also responsible for study spaces and all of the things.
Okay.
So before I arrive to my question, I just have a quick message for all the directors since I've been a past CSU board member. So I think we should refrain from talking or taking this as politics. This is student governance. You gotta advocate for your peers, not fight with other peers just to get into those places. So I'm a firm believer that you guys should use the word advocacy and governance instead of this aggressive word of using like politics and have a political background merely just to showcase that. So there's also an ethic behind it. Coming up to my question.
So I would like to interrupt you.
Coming up to my question, I'm just completing with the message. So my question is that how do you plan to govern for these students since CSU is a not-for-profit organization and we are expecting a lack of funding in the near future due to reduced enrollment? How do you plan on getting those funds from the government or seeking resources outside from the student's pocket? That's my question.
Firstly, I would like to address that you said we should relate it as advocacy, and you related politics with the fight. So I don't think so. Politics is the fight. So and coming to your question, so now see, I have not been in the CSU board. So when I'll see like what to do.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
Hi. To preface, I'm going to say that I am kind of a member of the board. I'm a board critic, and this is kind of my job to ask questions. So that's the preface. I had a question regarding sort of your qualifications for the role. So you mentioned that you come from like a finance background, specifically with regard to your family background, your parents, grandparents, etc. That's good, but what necessarily qualifies you, yourself, for the role? Like, do you have any experience within finance? Do you currently work with numbers? Are you an accounting major? Because you mentioned that you were a business admin, like you were in business admin, but that's a very general major that can encompass a lot of subjects. I'm in a program that is technically part of business faculty. I wouldn't consider myself to be qualified to take on a finance position. So yeah, I'm just wondering about your personal qualifications.
So I also have experience in this field. So in my high school, I was a head boy. So I have managed events and all of those things. So yeah.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next up, we are moving on to Vice President External. First up, we have Vansh Kalra. So same thing, 1 minute to talk about you and your platform, and then I'll ask a question too.
Hello everyone, my name is Vansh Kalra and I am the current VP External for Capilano Students Union. It's been around a year that I have been with CSU and I have learned a lot of things here. When I first started, my main priority was to get an accessible transit to the campus, for which I wrote a letter to the editor of North Shore News for a direct regional bus tour around the campus, and after that I have been involved in student advocacies. And I have been involved in campaigns, for example, the tuition campaign, and I have been the voice of students before, and I'm running for the same position this year.
Okay, so what have you done during your time on the board? I know you mentioned writing the letter to the editor. Are there any other experiences that you've had?
Yeah. So like when I first started, as I already mentioned, I wrote a letter to the editor about the transit issues the students were facing, and we spent so much time on transit campaign. We also like signed some letters, some postcards in our tabling hours, and after that, I once had an interview with CBC News about regarding the courses, like the courses are getting reduced in our university. So I once had an interview about that I think we need more courses because students are having issues in graduating. And after that, we also had lobbying in Victoria, in which our main priority was the tuition cap, which is 5% on international students and 2% on domestic students. And what I feel is, like in the future, they might remove the 2% cap on tuition on domestic, and they might increase the 5% of international students. So, yeah, that's what I'll work on.
Okay. So when it comes to strengthening partnerships with organizations, are there any organizations that you feel our partnerships have been strengthened during your tenure?
Yeah, so we had the lobbying with Alliance of BC students, in which there were students from Royal Road University and the UBC and SFU. So, like we met with the other board members of different unions, and we had a very good relation with them. But now, like, we'll be from the next year, will not be the part of Alliance of BC. Kaplan Students Union would be doing their individual lobbying. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'd like to open it up to questions now. Okay. Milo, coming up.
So Vansh, that you are currently... Testing? Oh, beauty. So Vansh, you're currently in the role and you failed to complete 80 hours of work for the month of October. You stated you were out of the province for the first 2 weeks, and then I believe you wrote academics were the reason for the second 2 weeks. Are you planning on taking another month-long vacation during your second term, or is this going to be limited to the first?
What I would like to say is, yeah, I know that I didn't work 80 hours in October. The thing was, I was not on vacation first. I explained this in the board meeting, and still you are saying that it was vacation. It was not a vacation. For some reasons, I was out of the province, and I didn't miss any external meetings at that time. There were no external meetings assigned to me in that time period. There were some external meetings in which I attended some, and maybe 1 or 2 were those which I missed. So yeah, I know about the October month, but I think like the first year is also of learning. Students learn in the first year about the student union, and I have been with CSU now for a year, and I have a good experience now. So I think I'll be better this year, and I'll stand stronger with students this year. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
So first question is this: can you please tell me you are a member of ABCS or not?
Like right now, we are a member of ABCS, but
no, you are like the board member.
Like me individually?
Yeah.
If I'm the VP external for CSU, I think so that, yeah.
How you can say that I think so?
Yeah, bro, because we are lobbying with ABCS, so we all went together there, so we are a part of ABCS.
Did you attend any meeting of ABCS?
No.
So that's the answer.
Alright, that's all the time we have for that one. Thank you, Vansh.
Thank you, everyone.
Alright. And next up, we have Bapneet Kaur. All right, so you have 1 minute to introduce yourself and your platform, and then we'll move on to questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Bapneet Kaur, and I'm running for Vice President External because I believe Capilano students deserve a strong representation outside the campus. The VP External is not just about attending the meetings, it's about speaking up for the students to build the connections and making our voices are here at the provincial and federal tables. I want to represent the Capilano Student Union wherever important decisions are being made with government officials, other student unions and organizations that shapes the post-secondary education. One of my main priority is strong advocacy. Students are dealing with rising tuition fees, high living costs, expensive houses and transportation. I also want to make sure CSU plays an active role in post-secondary review. Decisions about tuition and funding directly affect us. Even a 2% tuition increase can make a big difference for domestic students. We must push for affordability and fairness. As VP External, I will also build a strong relationship with other student unions. If elected, I will advocate for affordable education, oppose unfair tuition increases, meet regularly with decision makers. I am ready to work hard, stay accountable, and make sure Capilano students are not just heard, but respected.
Okay, so when it comes to external partnerships with other organizations, how would you evaluate the success of those partnerships?
Firstly, I just not go through the meetings. I will take care of the real result. So in this, I will choose that did we meet the actual real person, or we will disclose the student problems to the correct person.
Okay, what are some goals that you have with this position if you were to be elected?
Okay, as I mentioned in my introduction, I will work on the post-secondary review as 2% give us a big change. As for the domestic students, I will work on the post-secondary review.
Okay. I think we can open it up to questions from the audience. If anybody has any questions that they would like to ask.
Where did you get this piece of information regarding the post-secondary review? Like, just speaking from a piece of paper, how did you manage to get all the information? Thank you.
I just got this information from the website of CSU, as they mentioned in the CSU website.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
My question is also kind of similar. Like, I want to know how would you prepare yourself to talk in front of the ministers, and because we know that post-secondary review is coming up maybe in the next month. So what would be your priorities for the students, and would you like to advocate for international students also for some tuition cap? Maybe 2%, just like domestic.
To be honest, I didn't have more knowledge, but from my perspective, I will seek the knowledge from the from the current president and the other staff members to work on it and get the knowledge.
Okay. So when it comes to lobbying, do you have a distinctive? First off, does anyone else have any questions that they'd like to ask? Okay. Do you have a method for lobbying? Like, what is your what does that process look like to you? For when it comes to lobbying with the ministers and whatnot?
Okay, so from my perspective, communication is the key to success. If we commute, then we get the result.
Okay. Well, I think that's all the time we have. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have Parnit Kaur.
Hello everyone, myself Pannu, and I'm a third year student and I'm doing honors in major psychology. I came to CAPU in 2024, and a little bit about me and my work that I do on campus and externally. So I'm one of the student employee on our own campus, and I'm known as the student digital ambassador, CAPU ambassador, student research assistant, and student official student model for the Capilano University. I'm also the youth model for the whole district of the North Vancouver, North Shore. I am also recently been acclaimed as one of the senator, and today is my first Senate meeting, and which is just the welcoming of our new president. I am also the women liaison who ran last year, and gladly I want to as well. I'm also the chairperson of the whole collective liaisons committee. I am also one of the member of the student union building. I am also one of the student speaker of the whole university. Besides that, I am also the youth advisory council member for the dean as well. Besides that, I am also the student senate representative on the whole board of directors in the CSU. And besides that, there are many other things that you can read in my biography. And I'm really sorry if I missed anything to add on. So a little bit about me, that why I'm running for this position. For me, leadership is not just about badge, to be honest. It's about responsibility and just efforts which has to be made very consistently in front of the students and in front of the government to work for the students. I really believe that it is very important for us to know what does the external means. External is someone who represents the student bodies and their issues and their concerns and the university's whole image in front of the real national government of Canada and the provincial. Government has two parts, that is federal and provincial, which is ours, that is British Columbia's. Thank you.
Do you have any partnerships with external organizations that you hope to, I don't know if the word is gain, do you have any partnerships with are there any organizations that you'd like to partner with in your tenure?
Yes, thank you so much for your question. So yes, there is BC Housing Organization which comes under affordability, and secondly is all about BC's lobbying as well with the provincial government.
Okay. What metrics would you use to evaluate the success of those partnerships?
Firstly, communication skill, that is really very important in such a role because communication is the key to success for VP External. Secondly, very confident. Secondly, experience as well. And thirdly, is all about the collaboration because I am a type of person, as I served as a woman liaison last year and currently I am gladly serving as that. And my main focus was always on collaboration and the results were always positive.
Okay, I think we can open it up to questions from the audience now, if anybody has a question. I'd like to remind the audience not to ask leading questions or anything that borders on anything personal, if that makes sense.
So, on you being a current board member, in December 2025, you attempted to amend the bylaws by introducing a motion at CSU Board of Directors that you would have allowed director disqualified for election misconduct to remain in the office. By doing so, you effectively challenged the authority and the impact of election administrator and the arbitration panel. Why should students feel confident electing you to a more powerful executive role when your past proposal appear to reduce accountability for rules violation?
Thank you so much for bringing this up, to be honest. And if you are really curious to know the reason, there were many things that happened in the CSU in the past which I am not allowed to kindly speak publicly. If you are really worried to kindly see the answer, then I really strongly suggest you to go back and look on my agenda and my reason that why did I propose those. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have the rationale. In fact, here you said that to maintain the CSU's working environment, it is required also sometimes the fake allegation can result to disqualification during elections. So how it works, if someone files a complaint and you get disqualified, you file an appeal. And if you file an appeal, it goes to the election administrator, and if it gets disqualified, then it again goes to the administration panel. That's two different persons. So do you want to say that if a person gets disqualified, he should be sitting in the CSU's board of directors, and if he's facing allegations like harassment or stuff like that, and that means you're directly challenging the authorities of election administrator and the arbitration panel. That's not me, that's your rationale here. I'm not speaking.
Thank you so much for even bringing that. So
yeah, it's like some
your
platform so I can print it.
No worries at all. No, I totally respect. And as a student, I really would like to mention this world is consists of two type of persons, fake and truth. Usually fakeness is much more bigger than the truthness. Usually the majority is of fake people. We never know what the majority would say in front of the world. We never know who is the truth and what is the truth. What person is saying truth.
So okay, so if I'm in the elections, but I'm truthful, I commit a mistake or something, that means you're directly challenging the results given by the arbitration panel and the election coordinator.
I never acclaimed and I never said that I'm challenging our respected Kalpana Solanki, election administrator. I proposed that because that was my personal reason.
Okay, we've run out of time, unfortunately.
Thank you.
But thank you all. Anyways, moving on. Thank you very much.
Hello students. Let me begin with a simple question. How many students truly know what the Vice President External does? Or a better question, how many have actually seen clear and measurable results from this role? The gap is the reason I'm here. My name is Arman Salmani as a business student at Kaplan University. In my professional experience at Walmart, I started as a cashier in 2022. Through consistency, accountability, and performance, I progressed into higher responsibilities, including managing front-end operations, overseeing store closing procedures, and training 11 employees, including a current front manager, and 8 associates for customer services. I was personally selected to join a multi-million-dollar renovation project in North Vancouver later during a major operational crisis following as a store fire. I was again personally requested to support recovery efforts. That level of trust was not given, it was earned. And the same principle will guide me for this role. Now let me talk about the real issue. Leadership in this position should be visible, active, and accountable. It should not feel symbolic. It should not feel distant. Students do not feel heard internally. External partnership lose their meaning. If elected here is what will change. First, consistent dialogue, student dialogue. I will organize monthly or maybe bi-weekly open meetings so a student can directly share concerns and ideas. External decisions will not be made in isolation. Second, public accountability. I will publish regular progress updates on partnership, initiatives, and achievements. I will also launch a live online tracking system where every goal is clearly labeled as completed, in progress, and planned. Also, we should actively build partnership with organizations and other universities, create joint initiatives, share resources and best practices. Our university should connect, collaborate, and lead, not operate in isolation. And expanding cultural and athletic opportunities. The student life matters beyond academics. I will support the formation of new student-led groups, encourage collaboration between universities, and help organize meaningful events both on and off campus. I respect every candidate running this election. Some have held this position and some have more experience. But leadership is not defined only by experience, it's defined by vision, systems, transparency. My campaign is not about a comparison, it's about improvement. Thank you.
Okay, we can move on to questions. I gave you a little more time there, so I'm curious, are there any specific organizations that you plan on partnering with?
Yes, definitely. In my idea, the University of the Simon Fraser, SFU, and UBC, they have a very better relationship together, and our university is completely isolated. In my idea, we should increase our collaboration with these universities because we can improve ourselves definitely in compare with the other universities. And also, we should make some decision about our students for sports and arts too. We should make some events in our university in collaborated with other universities. In my idea.
Okay. How would you measure the success of those partnerships?
Yes. So, if you check my campaign, so you can see there is a specific monthly tracking system. You can check every month that what I want to do. And I told you, as my second, I will, for the tracking system, I will make a online page. You can check completed, in progress, and planned. So you can see what happened every month, and also you can join to the meeting every month and express your decision and help me.
Okay. I was thinking of another question, but I think we have to open it up to any questions from the room. If anybody has anything they'd like to ask. Oh, yeah. Come up to the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, I just want to know what your thought on you being criticized or you being corrected in some way by some other person, if they have authority. Would you mind to be criticized or maybe corrected in many ways?
Corrected what?
Maybe some of your ideas might not be relevant to students or they want something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I guess how would you handle criticism from students?
Okay. If I understand well, first of all, it's completely relevant. Why? Because if I'm the external vice president, so I should not decide by myself. I should decide for university and the students. So the most important thing is to communication. If I launch a meeting monthly, I can understand what the students want. So right now we don't. Who knows exactly about this position? You can check in the library, and most of the students don't know about this position at all. Why? Because we need to improve the system. We need to improve our communication. And after the communication, we can check about the initiatives, events, and so on.
Okay. Do we have another question from someone else? And then we have to move on.
Hi. I was wondering, so you were saying about making connections with the larger universities such as SFU and UBC. My question was, is there any work that can be done around the relationships that Capilano University already has with other institutions? I'm not aware of which schools specifically or what our sort of relationships are, but I believe that Capilano and Langara College have had some relationship and some collaboration in the past. So I was wondering, would these communications and connections be extended to those smaller institutions as well?
Okay. So first of all, the bigger universities has more experience. They have more students. So we can use their experience, and also why we do not collaborate with the smaller universities. But the SFU and UBC were the examples. So if we increase our collaboration with bigger universities, we can increase our experience, and then we can use it for the smaller institution.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all the time that we have now. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Moving on.
Thank you so much.
I think it would be smart if we took a 5-minute break before we got into the presidential candidates, so everyone can, stand up, walk around, have a drink of water, go to the bathroom, and we'll be back. 1:25. What we're going to do is we're going to have 3 of the candidates come up at a time. There's a total of 6 candidates, so we're going to do 3 and 3. And we'll give each candidate a bit of time to talk about themselves, and then we'll get into questions posed to the 3 of them. You give each candidate a chance to answer those questions, and then as well respond to each other in a debate kind of fashion. So the first 3 candidates I would like to have up are Milo, Prentice, Rajveer, Singh, and Benisse, Zinga. And just make sure your microphones are turned on.
Testing.
Right? Hello? Oh, yeah.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
All right. Sorry, let me pull this up right now. So I want to go through each of you, and we'll start with Milo, and then we'll move down. So I want you to just introduce yourself and explain why students should vote for you. Pretty simple.
Yeah, hi everyone, my name is Milo Prentice. I'm a second year humanities student. I've been student senator for about a year. I'm running for president. Very simple message, listen to students, lower fees, raise accountability, right? So in my time on the board, I've noticed there's a real aversion to accountability, right? And a real reluctance to listen to criticism. One motion, as has been mentioned, was or no, that one wasn't mentioned. There's been motions to repeal all critics entirely, whose entire role is holding the board accountable. The rationale began with no need of critiques further anymore and ended with they cannot get money in free as this is really unfair. Despite the fact that critics only receive 10% of the pay, this makes it very clear that the CSU is being treated like a piggy bank. Our executives receive some of the highest pay in the entire province for any student executive with some of the lowest responsibilities. We've only just introduced the concept of timesheets. There exists a culture that allows for absences, that allows for incomplete reports, and that allows for mid-semester vacations. This cannot be allowed to continue. The CSU is an important aspect of your university experience, and having it run by those that do not care is dangerous. Throughout my time at this university, I have seen that many of the activities organized by the CSU simply do not appeal to the majority of students. As students, we pay over $700 a year into the CSU, and the majority of students I speak with derive no value. As been mentioned before, we had a sex toy bingo, which, regardless of politics, that is a use of student funds that does not appeal to a broad cross-section, simply. I want to engage directly with students to ensure activities better reflect the interests and priorities. I want to interact directly with MOPA students who have been left behind, it seems, by the CSU. We need to show MOPA student films. We need to promote homegrown talent. I also want to continue advocating for student rights. One concern that's repeatedly been raised is the university's practice of canceling classes midway through enrollment periods due to low enrollment. That's not fair at all. The job of president is one that requires knowledge. And I'm going to go on to talk about this. This is a very administrative role as opposed to the VPs, which are primarily action-based. I spent the past year learning the ropes, how to get things done, how to draft reports, how to submit memos. The idea of electing someone who has never interacted with the systems of governance that are involved in the CSU is going to result in a candidate who has to take 2 months to learn the ropes. I can tell you, I can hit the ground running, implementing ideas that work for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving down.
Hello everyone, I'm Benisse, Zinga, and I'm a third-year communications student. So my key points in my campaign are just overall unity, really listening and understanding students, and taking action on their concerns and questions, which is something that I've been actively trying to do and connect with students, and some have even come up to me or messaged me and letting me know their concerns about what's going on in the school and that nothing's really being done. So I really want to be their voice and help advocate for them, because I really believe that's what a leader should be doing. So my key point in unity is we're really unified as separate programs, but not as a school as a whole. And we do have events and things going on in school, but of course, like mentioned a lot of times by other candidates, people don't come, low enrollment, or some people honestly just do not know what's going on in school. They just come and then they go home. So really just getting people engaged more, having more student engagement, putting more money probably in advertising, and so people know what's going on, because a lot of us get a bunch of emails all the time on events, and that can be pretty overwhelming, so probably cutting that down. When it comes to listening to student concerns, for example, recently I've been talking with some students that they just feel like they're not heard or they're just neglected by the CSU. And that honestly breaks my heart, because we're supposed to be listening to students, advocating for them, and helping fight for them, and that's not happening. And to even be feeling like you're left out or alone just shouldn't be happening. I know what that feels like, and no one else should. So I really believe in fighting for them, and all the things that the concerns they have come to me with are fixable and doable, they're just not being fixed. So I would like to do that by, for example, helping the BSU, because their room is really just not ventilated properly. So something like that, or maybe helping find them a new room or something like that.
So, hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Rajveer, and currently I'm holding the position of Business and Professional Studies representative. And now I'm going for the position of president in these elections. I do have a valuable knowledge related to the CSU, and I have seen many of the things that has to be overcome into the university. And I will just say that there are some of the concerns that I just want to make sure that has to be put forward. For example, the transit services, library hours, events that has to be organized, equality, and many others. I will just say, like, I will not make any fake promises that I will do this, I will do that. I just want to stand on my words when it comes to the reality. Many of them just say that today many promises are being made. And when it comes to the reality, then many of them will be just putting themselves back. They will be saying that this is not my authority. I don't have that much authority to this. This is not my responsibility. And I don't want to make that all things to be happening. So whatsoever I will be saying today, I just make sure that I am standing on that words tomorrow. Another thing is that I will be not leaving the students alone. Just bring your doubts to me if I will be tomorrow being elected. Not only I will show you the path, but also I will be walking with you all, and we together will be finding the destination and make the university a very effective and efficient campus. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to be asking some questions. Everybody can respond. Just give like a minute response, and then we can open it up for debate where everyone can talk freely. So the position that you're running for is paid over $28,000 a year, with the expectations that you'll do 80 hours of work a month. And VPs are paid over $24,000 a year. Considering that that's the students' money that pays for the executives' wages, how are you planning to keep directors accountable if they fail to fulfill the responsibilities of their roles?
Yeah, so on the topic of pay, I really think that $28,000, which once again is one of the highest pays in the entire province for student leadership, is far, far overpaid. We need a real shake-up in terms of payment. It's not only is it overpaid, it's a terrible look for students to see, their elected officials getting paid almost $30,000. That doesn't make sense, especially for a university that brands itself as a alternative, more cost-efficient alternative to UBC and SFU. Our student officials making more than UBC and SFU officials is disgraceful. I think that we should implement timesheets. I think we should really implement direct accountability of tabling hours need to be completed visibly much more. Direct responsibility and direct accountability are what's really important to me.
Thank you.
Me, I would definitely say transparency, because that's a key point for me. I always am trying to be the most transparent that I can be in everything that I do, as well as keeping people accountable in what they do. And also, what I like to do in any type of project situation is have weekly check-ins with whoever in my group or in my project or who I'm working with, just to make sure we're touching base, we're meeting deadlines, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing and doing it to the best of our ability.
Okay, thank you.
So the thing is that your CSU is offering more than 20,000 and it's just asking for the 80 hours. I will be making sure that my schedule is flexible. If I'm just doing any other work, I will be not conflicting my CSU into that work. And most of the time, as now my studies are going on, so out of 7 days, I am 5 days available in the university only. And if there will be any doubt to the students or there will be any issues, I will be putting myself forward instead of leaving back. So I think that I will be utilizing that income that will be receiving to me in a best way, so that no one just put the fingers or the allegations on me. Thank you.
Okay, if you guys have any questions for each other, you can have a conversation.
I would ask, how do you plan to make pay more transparent?
For myself? Transparency. Oh, okay, transparency. Well, obviously, I feel like this was mentioned also in the finance part, but also easier to read. I liked how everyone mentioned that. That was something that everyone had in common. Easier to read so people can understand it. Also feel like accessibility to be transparent, because if you're going through like multiple links just to find one thing, I feel like that's too difficult. So just, yeah, an easy platform that you can see what is being done, and also transparency when a student can literally come up and ask me, and of course I'll be honest and transparent with what I'm saying too.
Okay, any other questions for each other?
I have a question for you on pay. So when you mean shake it up, do you mean you would be willing to get lower pay then, for sure?
Yeah, that's a key platform of mine is we are overpaying our elected officials by a gross amount. Almost $30,000 for a part-time job at a university where, you know, we have almost no accountability in the completion of that job. That's not right.
Okay. Okay, if that debate is over, if anybody else has anything else to say, we can move on. So, among the duties of the executive committee that you'd be a part of is to look for ways to engage and consult with students. What are your thoughts on the ways that the CSU currently hasn't, like, what are your thoughts on the methods that the CSU currently has in place to do that, and what alternatives would you propose?
Yeah. So right now I'm really proud of a lot of what we're doing in outreach. I think that our outreach staff is really working hard. I do think that there are areas of the campus that are underrepresented, specifically the BOSA building and MOPA students who feel that they aren't heard at the CSU. I think that one way that that could be, you know, remedied is inviting MOPA students to our board meetings to speak about their issues, maybe an informal representative. I also think that outreach is important to the wider community in terms of events. So right now we're kind of fractionalizing our events. I think that we should have university-wide events that cater to everyone.
Okay.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, no worries. So among the duties of the executive committee is to look for ways to engage and consult with students. What are your thoughts on how the CSU is currently doing that, and what alternatives would you propose?
For sure. I think we're doing pretty good, but not great. Because, like I said before, I've had conversations with other students on ways we can improve, and one mentioned was collaboration and communication, specifically with the registers team here at Capilano. So communicating with them, collaborating with them better, because I found out that that's apparently difficult. So that'd be one step that I'd take, as well as just open conversations that are accessible to everyone. And just like a simple circle conversation, not like this, but more in like a community-based, just a circle that everyone can just come in, have a conversation, and share their ideas and thoughts.
Okay.
Well, I will say, as me myself, I am in the CSU and I have seen that we are doing great into this thing. But due to some funds and due to some money issues, we are not able to organize many events where students can engage themselves and they collaboratively can do many activities. But the current president, the current executives and non-executive members and the staff, they are doing very great. But I will say we will be doing the multicultural events where all the cultural students together, they can come there and they can enjoy and entertain themselves. In that way, the money will be also not be utilized too much, and the engagement of students, that is the main motive that will be fulfilled.
Okay, if you guys have questions for each other, now's the time.
Could you give an example of your multicultural event?
Okay, so multicultural events, we can say sports events or the activities that can take place in the university, like the soccer events or anything else, where all that will be not a event for the specific culture. That events can be for all the cultures where every student can go and join, and they can be very friendly and they can just be explore with each other.
Okay. All right. So, moving on then. To your knowledge, what has the CSU done to cap international tuition fee increases? And what would you propose to address the already high tuition fees from getting higher. How would you address that situation?
Yeah, just in terms of international student fees, Capilano could increase the international student fees by 10% across the board, and we would still have the lowest international student fees in the province. There's really not much lower we can go. That's about it.
Okay.
So how would I address it? Definitely talk to the students, of course, because they're the ones that are we're all the ones that are being affected by this. Our friends, everyone. So honestly, just be transparent in making sure everyone knows what's going on. See, that's my key point in that. Yeah.
So when it comes to the fees and everything, I will say like the students, those who are already enrolled in the university, their fees should not be disturbed, because once, like, this is not only for the international but also for the domestic students. The students, they are already planning their budgets. They are having the jobs, they are doing the part-time jobs, and they are planning their budgets accordingly. And when it just their fees goes raised, then they just disturbed with everything, like how much they will be spending into the studies, what will be their rent and everything. But the one who are newly enrolled, they are already they have to plan their budget, like how much they will be using and how much they will be saving, what will be their study expenses, what will be their basic need expenses and everything. So I will say that this impact should be on the newest students much as compared to the older one.
Okay. If you guys have any questions for each other about how you'd implement those changes or any details?
I think this is a good question, just showing the concern that we should have in electing individuals who have very little governance experience. There's been no talk of direct policy. There's been very little talk of direct implementation, for example, lobbying. We do need to really keep in mind that this is a role that requires quite a lot of attention to the mechanisms of governance.
Okay. Was that posed to anybody?
I would just ask, do any candidates have direct ideas in terms of governance, how they would implement some of their policies? For example, what committees they might go through, what advocacy groups they might utilize?
Okay. Do you guys want to address that?
Okay, so I just want to answer this question. Like, what is the role of VP external? That's the thing, like they are doing meetings with the MLAs and the government. They have to influence them and say them like this is not fair, and they should raise the student voice into the government and legislature in that way. Thank you.
Okay, I guess moving on to the next question. If prevailing student sentiment deems your leadership to be ineffectual or counterproductive, what would be your threshold where you decide that you yourself would need to step down?
Can you repeat this?
If the students viewed you in, I'm trying to think of a way to reword this. What's your threshold where you would decide that you had to step down as president if you were elected? It's kind of an abstract question, I guess. Yeah.
I feel as though if the executive committee, the VPs and the rest of the board decided that it was in the best interest of the CSU that I step down, that would make a lot of sense that I would step down. If governance was failing, so if no motions could be passed, if we were at a standstill, I feel like that would also be a time that it would make sense to step down as the CSU was in gridlock.
Okay.
For sure, mine is very similar as well. If the board agrees, and also if I just reflect on myself and see that I'm not doing the job to the best of my abilities that I can for the people, I feel that someone else can fill that role better, then yeah, that would be a time when I step down.
So when it comes to the step down, I am here not for the stepping down. I just want myself to bring forward. But when it comes to the coordination and everything, I just want that all the executives together, they can they together can work. And whenever just we think that now the things are not into our hands, now we are not able to do anything correct or anything like changes into the plans, then I will be not alone stepping. I will be just taking the suggestions of the staff and the other executive members, and then if they say that this is not a good thing, then of course there I will be stepping back. I will be not making only my own decisions, but I will be also listening to the decisions of the students as well as the members of the CSU. Thank you.
Okay. If you guys have any questions for each other, that's okay. Or I can move on to the next question. So part of your role is to be a spokesperson for the CSU on general issues. So how would you address the domestic voter turnout in these elections? It's incredibly low. Why is it a problem that such a large part of the student population is disengaged with the election process, and how would you motivate them to vote?
I think it is kind of an issue inherent to a commuter school, but awareness is definitely one thing. A lot of people fail to realize that the CSU and Capilano are two separate organizations. So you can get into the root of like making people aware of who we are, what we do, and why we do it. I think a lot of students fail to realize how much money they pay into the CSU, which I think would kind of spark some interest, at least. I also think that our voting system is somewhat inaccessible. We've made steps in making it more accessible by opening up more polling stations, but I do think that looking into online voting, similar to how we do the Capilano elections, would be definitely an option.
For sure, students don't know that what's going on. Like when I'm campaigning, some people are asking me like, oh, I didn't even know we had a union, or they didn't even know elections are coming up, and they don't even know that there's positions to apply for. So I feel accessibility as well for voting, because when people come to ask to vote, it has to be in person. So I feel having an online platform could be helpful, but also that brings in the question of integrity and transparency if someone else is filling it out for you and things like that. But mainly people don't know, so letting the students know what it is and who they're voting for or who they can vote for is definitely very helpful. We do have that with the website, but I looked through and honestly it's very long to read through all the candidates and profiles, especially when it's midterm season and everyone's really busy.
So this concern is already being raised in the CSU, as we can see that in the last years, elections were only taking place in the CSU lounge, into the library lounge, from the morning to the afternoon, to the evening. But this time, election is taking place into the different buildings at the different time. That is only due to because the domestic students, they are not aware about the elections, and to just make sure that this thing is happening at the university and making their concerns towards this thing is happening this time. And if this will be working, then next year we will be doing this thing again, and the timing will be increased, and the number of booths being placed in the university will be increased. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions for each other you'd like to pose? We can get into conversations if you want. Or I can open it up to audience questions. I think we have time for one or two.
I don't have a question, but I have to correct. I'm running for president, so I don't have a question, but I have to correct some very important errors here. I appreciate that you want to reduce the salaries that are being paid. That's wonderful. The Canadian government would love that, because the salaries do not come from the student fees. They come from an employment effort from the Canadian government. And the second thing I need to correct is that MOPA students are not separate from this election. I've been a MOPA student. We've had MOPA candidates run for presidents, and we've got MOPA candidates in this election. So I don't know. I just wanted to correct those two things. Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that, if people have questions, that's one thing, but statements.
I'm sorry, but we said that student fees were paying the salaries, and they're not. It's a government grant. It's a government employment grant. That's, yeah. So sorry.
The salaries of the executives are paid by the students. The salaries of our student volunteers are employment grants, I believe. I believe there's other, the salaries, it's a bit of a, all gets in the wash, and it kind of there is part that the government does pay, but we match our pay to the BC living minimum wage is what we call it.
It's wonderful.
And so it's not entirely paid by the Canadian government. And in regards to MOPA, I was referencing what a group of MOPA students who have been speaking at the board of directors meetings have said, which is that they don't feel represented. So I'm kind of just voicing the concerns that I hear from students.
Sure, and I know MOPA candidates that have run for elections, so I just want to kind of balance that.
Yeah, sorry. I should say again, if you are running for president, it's best not to ask questions for the other presidents that are running. Do you have a question? I think we have time, and then that's the last question that we before. Sorry, we're trying to keep it on a schedule.
I just have a question for Milo. I was wondering, within this term, you were kicked out of the Finance and Audit Committee because of unexcused absences, and similarly for student university affairs as well, like you didn't send any regrets or didn't inform people that you're not attending. Can I know how do you plan on addressing that, and if you're going to continue doing the same?
So as a student senator, my priority is the Senate. I've not taken salary from the CSU. I've treated this as a way to kind of learn the ropes, how the CSU works. So my absences were due to commitments to the university. We've been doing various emergency Senate meetings that have led to quite a few schedule shakeups. As president, that would be my priority. My priority would be the CSU.
I'm sure you know that you need to send regrets if you have mix-up and you know that you won't be able to attend meetings, because it's hard to reach quorum sometimes if we do not have the members attending, and I think that's going to be a problem for you if you're running for president.
All right, I think this is kind of getting out of, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, all right. All right, one last question, then we're done.
Okay, so I have a question for Milo. So how are you looking to improve the academic aspect of students? As of now, a lot of times, many courses are simply not available or available next year, which creates problems for students who are doing a 4-year course like myself.
Well, yeah, it's been very difficult. Speaking of that issue, we've also had classes that are offered and then don't reach the minimum number and they're canceled midway through the enrollment period. It's been very unfair to students, and that's definitely a students' rights issue. The CSU has a very well-equipped student rights office. But it is, an issue that the CSU needs to focus on. It's not fair to students. It leads to difficulties with scheduling. It leads to difficulties with even getting to the university when they need to get to the university. It's something that needs to be talked to with the Senate and with the Board of Governors as a whole.
So in terms of the process, how does it look from your perspective?
Yeah, so that would be the VP Student Affairs would be leading that, but it could be a presidential initiative. It would be lobbying the Senate directly, so the Student Affairs VP has a seat on the Senate that they can speak from. It would also be working with our student senators. It would be a similar process to how we've been attempting to get the reading break implemented, right, which is consistent lobbying efforts.
All right, and I want to correct you for one of your statements. So you mentioned that CAPU has the lowest international student fees in BC. It's wrong. If you check the Langara website, Langara College fees is $22,000 annually on an average. And at CAPU, it's $24,000 this year. So just want to correct you for that statement. Thank you.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Moving on to our next 3 candidates. Thank you 3 for coming up here. All right. I don't even know if I need to say your names. You know who you are. Francesca Gesualdi. Also, apologies if I'm mispronouncing these names.
No problem.
Francesca Gesualdi, Sam Galami, Rajveer Singh Paman. All right, so we'll go down through the 3 of you, and we will give you each. I want to try and match it to how much time I gave them last time. So I would say 3 minutes or so, maybe less. Well, I shouldn't have said maybe less. 3 minutes. All right.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, don't be afraid to go under that either. All right. Go ahead.
Hello everyone. My name is Arjun Singh. You can call me Arjun, and this is my second semester here. And I'm running for president. I have a lot of goals, but my main priority would be improving social life of students, like doing events that after 5:30, 4:30, not 11 or 1, because that peak study hours. And second of all, will be doing more sports competition for students. Students can come, they can compete, they can participate, they can be practice. And third of all, I will also I will not make a promise that I will decrease the fees, but I can make a promise to the students that as a president, as a CSU organization, I can talk to the government and Capital University to look into our difficulties. And third of all, I will also have some ideas to CSU to improve the financial difficulties, like have some semi-annual outing for the CSU clubs, so we can know that how much pennies they are spending right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. I'm Francesca, and I'm working on my Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies with a focus on intergenerational curricula and knowledge exchange at the university level, higher education. And I'm very fortunate to have actually gotten an internship right now in that field. And I'm campaigning in large part to make the board more intergenerational so that older students like myself have more visibility and have a chance to contribute our strengths. According to expert academics that have been doing research for decades on this subject, senior citizens like myself bring some very unique benefits to the university classroom when we join you younger folks. I'm at least twice your age, by the way. So they call the life experience and different perspectives that we bring to our university community. They call this the longevity dividend. Imagine my finding that out. I am running to bring the longevity dividend to the student board. And in case you find that, I'm pulling the longevity dividend out of a hat like a rabbit, I've got the research that's been done on it right here, if you'd like to consult it. I've got two very important initiatives, and I've actually, even though I'm not president, I've started working on one this morning. I contacted our elections officer because I think there are some changes that we need to make. If we are doing this as an exercise in democracy, and we don't do something serious about the voter apathy here, then we are carrying voter apathy out into the rest of the world. I'd also like to advocate for more paid internships and work-integrated learning opportunities. That's a big issue, but it's very important to me. I think it's very important as a whole because we focus a lot on work-integrated learning opportunities, but we need to cultivate more of them. I've been in classes where those integrated learning opportunities were advertised but not delivered, so that's an issue for me. I'm also wondering why we don't have an Indigenous liaison on the board. We've got a women's, we've got a black, we've got international students, we've got accessibility. We're named after an Indigenous leader. I'd like to see an Indigenous liaison on the board. That's it for me.
I believe we do.
We do?
Yeah, we do have that.
Actually, we created an Indigenous Student Association.
Well, no, we have an association, but we don't have a liaison on the board.
No, the liaison demand
We do,
we have an
yeah.
association.
And she's
I didn't see a position. I didn't see the position.
She's the one who brought that idea for association for indigenous students.
So they can have more autonomy on their decisions.
Is there a liaison for Indigenous?
Yeah.
There is. I
Yes.
did not see it on our roster.
And she's the main person of Association of Indigenous Students.
I didn't see it on the roster. I'm so sorry. I can make a mistake. I didn't see it on the roster.
No worries. Yeah, let's continue.
Okay.
Hello. Hi everyone. Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Hi everyone, my name is Sam, and I'm running for the CSU president. I'm happy to see you all here. I would like to get into my plans when the questions will be relieved, but before that I would like to talk about my personal experiences, skills, and expertise. So I'm currently a campus manager at a private college, so I'm not unfamiliar with how things work on that side. In addition to that, before that position, I was the assistant director of admissions to the largest private college in whole Canada. I don't want to name the names. It's CDI College if you guys are searching on your cell phone. And guys, in terms of the business and entrepreneurship, I started my own restaurant 4 years ago with $0 investment, and I made it to $1 million at least revenue in 1 year. As well, in addition to that, I started a car rental company, and I was successful to make that also a 7-figure company in 2 years. So I'm telling this because it is very rare for a student with my expertise to come back to school. I was in the 3rd year of my psychology, and I left the school to attend to my businesses. But after that, I realized this is something I want to finish. It is a rare occasion. I would like to consider that it is a great chance, and if I elect it, I will use all my leadership experiences, all my management experiences to put towards the plan I have to make Capilano University better than it is. We deserve better, and it should be better. But I would like to talk about my plans after the questions are relieved. Thank you.
Okay, we can get into questions. I'm going to ask the same questions out of fairness that I asked to the other candidates. So part of your role is to be a spokesperson for the CSU on general issues. How would you address the low domestic voter turnout in these elections?
You would like to start with me?
It's up to you guys. We did it the other way around.
If any of you guys want to take on it.
Okay, so first of all is, what the question is, like, the first of all is awareness. Second of all, students don't, like, when I was like doing campaigning, I had a talk with my domestic students. They said that during campaigning, many students come, they talk, so vote for me, but after campaigning and after voting ends, no student go to them and talk to them. They only just came to the school to meeting, that's it. So they don't have initiative to go to the domestic students to talk, that's my point.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that, sorry, okay, so I agree that it's a very serious issue. I don't know that I necessarily have all the answers. Unfortunately, I don't think that just creating more spaces for people to vote is going to bring them in. I think we need to do something that is, fundamentally very engaging. We may even, for instance, need to bribe. I don't want to say bribe, but offer some sort of reward for coming to vote. What that could be, I don't know exactly, but I don't think that simply. I think that there needs to be a hardcore mechanism. Simply just awareness or campaigning or publicity or advertisements or just reaching out like that isn't going to work. We need a mechanism that brings them in, that brings students in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, and so yes, raising up awareness is a very great, point that my fellow candidates brought up. But the main reason is the students distancing themselves from the CSU election is that they don't feel they work for them. That's as simple as it is. So if we have clear agendas, if we have set deadlines, if we tell them, so this is the plan, we're gonna follow the plan and everything should be according to this one, they can easily keep track of the plan. And then if they see we are working toward the plan, yes, everything will be good, the commitment, and the, partnership with the CSU, voting, everything, all the numbers you're looking for will go up. But the main reason is they don't believe that up to now we were working for them, or they believe that we were working for them, but the outcome was not necessarily what they were looking for. So it is very important that we listen to them. We have more regular town halls. We, open up communication just to see what are their needs, listen to them, plan accordingly, and then execute.
Okay, do you guys have any questions for each other regarding your statements?
No.
Okay, all right, we can move on to the next question. To your knowledge, what has the CSU done in the past to address tuition fee increases, both domestic and international? And what would you propose to address those tuition fee increases if you were CSU president?
First of all, CSU Vice President External and President have lobbying us in the Victoria regarding this fees matter. And second of all students were doing postcards to send to the government to look into our matter. That's the past thing CSU executive meeting has done. And as for future, and if I become a president, I will push back the government and the CSU, Capital University, to look into our matter, because right now I cannot promise that I will definitely decrease the fees, because that's only the power of the university and the government. But as a power of the organization, we can push back them, because right now Capital University is in debt and they are trying to increase the fees of the international students. So I will work on this.
Okay.
Yeah, so currently we have a campaign, the CSU board has a campaign going called, it's about international student fees. So somebody started that campaign this past year or the year previous, and I think that campaign needs to be continued. Interestingly enough, although we had that campaign, I knew nothing about it until I did some research and needed to run for president. But what would I do to promote reasonable student fees?
Yeah, well, how would you address it?
Again, I would say that we've already got a campaign going, so we need to maybe hike up that campaign. That one is only for international fees. We need one for domestic fees as well. It's a question of lobbying, and maybe our external affairs VPs, working with them to do some of that lobbying with the governments.
Okay.
So in terms of that, I can look at that from two different approaches. One of them is the cost, the other one is the value. Everyone with the basic understanding of economics and how business works, they know when it comes to money, they have to look from both perspectives. In terms of the cost, I'm friends with Mr. Mahdi. He is the Chief Communication Officer for the government of British Columbia. He was serving this role from John Horgan up to David Abey right now. So in terms of the lobbying, this is the process that I would like to take. But when it comes to value, when you pay money, you have expectations. You require a certain amount of things. You require the promises you were made before you enrolling yourself into a program. So what's important is the cap is good, the cost control is good, but also we have to work towards the value of the program. You have to get the value of the money that you spend. So I look at this from two different perspectives. One of them, lobbying with the person I named in terms of that, to have a cap on the prices. And secondly, we have to increase the value. So the question of, am I wasting the money or not, raises when you believe you don't receive the value from your money. And it's not about the price, it's about the value as well.
Okay, do you have any questions for each other regarding your statements?
No.
No? Okay. So among the duties of the executive committee that you'd be a part of is to look for ways to engage and consult with students. So what are your thoughts on the ways, what are your thoughts on the methods of doing that the CSU currently has in place? And what alternatives would you propose?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again with the bagpipe? I cannot hear you well.
So, among...
Just wait a couple of more seconds. Thank you.
So among the duties of the executive committee that you'd be a part of, that you'd be the president of, is to look for ways to engage and consult with students. What are your thoughts on how the CSU is currently doing that, and how would you do it if you were president? What alternatives would you put in place?
Shall I start? Okay. So currently, I think that the CSU is doing a lot of outreach by email, and I think that they're using, the standard, normal procedures. But one thing that I would like to do is actually, I'm going to call it boots on the ground, because I would be willing to set up table like this, and actually staff it for hours and, over days and over period, and actually, have just be able to record, just talk to them, ask questions directly and get direct feedback. I think that one-on-one is what I would engage in. I want to know.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Okay. So right now CSU doing a very good job, but I want to increase tabling hours, and like many of students would talk before about the Boza building. Like no students are they are not much aware right now. I want to increase the tabling hours. Second of all, I want to as she said, it's a very good idea to
It's my idea.
Yes, your idea. I'm not copying it. It's her idea, but that's a very good idea, and I think that's the only two things.
So I would like to address this issue in terms of that. We should have more transparency, and when I talk about transparency, I just don't use a word. By transparency means in the first 2 weeks in the office, if I get elected, I will have a plan drafted for the whole year, the term that I'm going to serve in this role. This plan will be publicly available to all the students. They can keep track of what we are planning, what are the steps towards this plan, and where are we in terms of achieving those plans. So when everything is transparent, when they can see what we are thinking, what we want to do, they can easily keep track of us. And when they can keep track of us, they will know that what we're working on. This is important, so they can bring their own ideas. I plan to have regular town halls to discuss every steps monthly that in the whole plan that I develop and design, where we are and what are the next steps to be taken. So regular town halls is very important. As well, I would like to have an email address specifically dedicated for the opinions and criticism, so students can have that and they can, reply to all the policies we want to implement, or they can communicate with us through that one. So if we have a plan, we make it transparent, students can keep track of us, it will solve a lot of issues. I'm sure that you're going to ask about those issues in the future, but as well, it's going to make communicating with the students very more efficient.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for each other regarding that?
No.
No? Okay.
I might have, you say you want to draft this plan? Do you have an idea what that plan that you're going to put out? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been working on the plan since the day I decided to run for this, but this is not something that I would like to discuss at this point. But if you have any specific questions about different subject matters, I would be more than happy to address those.
Okay. My last question before we open it up to the audience. The position you are running for is paid over $28,000 a year, and with the expectation that you'll work 80 hours a month, and the VPs are paid over $24,000 a year. Considering that it's the students' money, or
I stood corrected. John, where is he?
Over there.
He's over there. He corrected me. The executive positions are paid with the student fees. Other positions are paid by government grants. I apologize. My mistake. I make mistakes.
no worries. So considering that it's the students' money that pays the executives' wages, how are you planning to keep the directors accountable if they fail to fulfill the responsibilities of their roles?
I'm Italian. I'm good at keeping people accountable. I think timesheets are a good idea. It wasn't my idea. I didn't realize we had such an accountability issue. I do think that if the students, when they vote, they know a lot more about who they're voting for. Right now, that's one of the issues in voter apathy. Our voters don't get enough of an opportunity to learn who the candidates even are. How many in this room are not candidates? And are you, well, you're a teacher, are you campaigners? The ones that put their hands up? You're campaigners. Okay, so where are the student voters? coming. They're not coming. I think that holding forums like this doesn't bring them in. Or, you know, anyhow, where is that going? What's the question? Oh, right. I think that if we know more who we're voting for when we vote, we will have more accountability. But until then, I think the timesheets work. Also, reports of, I don't want to put the onus on the students, you know, to police us or to patrol us. They've got enough to do already. So we have to find ways to hold ourselves accountable amongst each other as well. Not just timesheets also, but then what do they call deliverables, if we can, you know, note our deliverables.
Okay.
Okay, now the problem. So yes, the plan will be designed, and we do know what are the steps and what we have to do in terms of that. So that keeps the people who are working and receiving the money accountable. So I care about the results. I don't only care about, you know, showing up 80 hours. 80 hours is not enough. When I set expectations as a president, I know what needs to be done at what timeline. So if we keep up with that, I'm all right with it. But in terms of the money, in terms of that, somebody brought up a point that I won't be, you know, even thinking about reducing some of those. I would like to reducing the, you know, the salaries or compensation, whatever you want to name it. I'm not even thinking about that, because the basic of the economic works on human incentive. If you know about Thomas Sowell, if you know about F.A. Hayek, even Karl Marx himself, he believed in personal incentive. So when you reduce the money, so can you have the same expectations, you know, from the role that was to be paid more? So it will decrease the performance of the person, and it's been proven. We built a nation in Canada, we built a nation in US, in the whole the free world based on human incentives. That's how economy works, that's how performance is cared about and related.
If I talk about myself, I would free my schedule to give more hours to CSU and to help students. Thank you.
Okay, do you have questions for each other at all?
No.
Okay, then we can open it up to the audience. Again, if you're running for president, don't ask any questions to the other people running for president. But outside of that, and also try not to make them personal, keep them related to the job themselves. The job itself, rather. Okay.
Thank you. First of all, it's a question related to, like you mentioned, like you specifically for, what's your name?
Sam.
Sam. Yeah, it's specifically for Sam, because the thing is, you mentioned like you will see the values, not the, like for example, if the student, like the fee for students is going keep increasing, so you're not taking any actions, just you will see the values of it. Like if there is a value, so you're not doing any change.
So if you listen well to what I mentioned, I said there is two aspects that we have to look at, both of them equally. One of them is to have a price control on those. I didn't say I only care about the value and not care about the price control. I said there are two things that we have to keep in mind, and I added the value because the value was nothing mentioned but any of the candidates, not even the VPs. So here is the thing. Yes, I will work in terms of the price gaps. I know you guys are having a campaign at this point. I've been following that up. I would like, when I get into the office, just to see what are the progress that you have made. I would like to build on that. But on the other hand, there is the approach who's being left alone, which is the value I mentioned. Guys, the main thing about the university, when you enroll in university, is that you were promised a better future, better, a better pay, better salary, everything in terms of that. But what are we looking at this point is not very, towards that idea. We are too focused on academics. Academics are good, they're the main core, but we have to care about the value. We have to be market ready when we want to hit jobs. We have to have, experience, we have to have leadership, we have to have management, we have to have the qualities that the employer look into a candidate when we graduate from here. Those are the things that are missing. By value, I meant these things.
So do you think they have values like the administrative have values for students?
Sorry, I didn't catch the question.
I said like, do you think the administrative have values for students?
Sorry, what values?
So I said like, do you think the administrative of university they have values for students?
Definitely, I do believe in that. Yes, administrative, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, administrative of the university has values, definitely. But I don't mean that we don't have any. I mean we have to build on that. We have to make that a stronger and greater.
Do you students think university have values for you? Can you please raise hand like if you said university have?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you asking if we think that university... I'm not sure I understand the question.
So my question is this, like I'm particularly talking about the increase in fees. So because the thing is this, student union stands for students. So that's why I'm asking if university is keep increasing the fee. So that's the question, like if they are giving value, so do you advocacy for it or not?
Are you asking, do we think we are getting value for our money? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, actually, I now understand the better aspect of your question. So, same, two approaches. In terms of that, we have to work simultaneously on both of the aspects. Control the costs as well as increasing the value. And focusing on both of them, it doesn't mean we can do both of them together at the same time.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. I'm not taking too much time.
Okay, yeah. We are running out of time, so we need to try and keep things succinct. Just everyone keeps that in mind. Thank you. Yeah.
Last question.
No.
So my question is to Arjun Veer. So yesterday you keep talking about integrity. Yesterday your campaigner went out to candidates and tricked them for interview under falsely claimed authorization from election administrator, to which election coordinator gave a response and warned you that interviews taken under false pretenses are to be destroyed and not to be uploaded, or else you will be disqualified from not this and from future Catalan elections. If your campaign that has already been found misleading and manipulating candidates, why should anyone feel confident voting for you? What makes you think students should trust you with presidency after this?
Nice question, bro. First of all, I got permission from Kalpana. I can show you the email. I got permission from Kalpana to do podcast. So we got confused. It was voice podcast or interview podcast. So if you know the difference between interview podcast or voice podcast, so I think you should know better.
It's filed 2026, decision 16 March 2026. It's by the election coordinator.
So if you want, I can show the email.
Why to show that the video interviews of candidates taken?
I'm sorry, I think we have to move on from this question.
Thank you.
Hi, my question is for Sam. At the beginning you mentioned that you had you were the owner of you said a restaurant?
Yes, I owned my restaurants for 4 years and then I sold it.
And then you sold it, okay.
Yeah. The name is Tanja Takeout, the legal name is Tanja Catering Ltd, and we ended up the fiscal year of 24-25 with more than $1 million in revenue. It's in CRA.
Okay. My question is that you said that you can bring some kind of leadership skills to this candidacy.
Yeah.
Can you explain what those roles mean?
Of course. So in addition to that, I'm also a campus manager at a private college right now. And I've had previous experience in academic, working in that area, as I mentioned before. So this is the most important job a student can get in Capilano University. You want an experienced guy, you want a person with management, you want a person with a strong leadership. And all those previous jobs I did and I've done, they are qualified me to be a perfect candidate for this role. So I have a strong management, I have experiences, and I have a strong sense of leadership, and I have showed that with the proven record.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Any other questions? Okay. I believe that concludes then the forum. Yeah. Thank you everybody for coming out. Yeah. We have another forum on Thursday for graduates. Thanks for coming out. Yeah.